Hello, I'm Abraham Gordon, and I'm going to show you a story of one woman's survival from cancer, and also of the community that bonded together, that assisted her in that survival. It's a story of love and caring and support and faith. And may this be in the merit of all of those in our community who have survived this disease, and may it be in the merit of all of those whom have not. You've known each other for a long time. You and EC and Stefan have known each other. How long?
We met in 1990.
You've been
therapy.
friends a long time.
A long time.
So besides being her close friend, you're also her personal physician.
Yes, that was more recent. That was.
So after such a long relationship, you were intuitive to know that she was having some real serious health issues, and you just one day said, that's it, and you just, right? You sent her in and said, we're taking care of this.
Right.
And then you found out how they ended up doing a biopsy.
Yes.
And then you found out how kind of grim the diagnosis was, and the job fell on you to go in and tell her.
Right.
That must have been terrifying.
It was very terrifying and also just depressing to have to bring her the news and bring her, she's always positive and buoyant, and everything that she'd ever gone through in her life, she, just took on it, and didn't let her get her down, but I didn't know how this was going to go.
Did you have a strategy?
No, I davened a lot, and I mean, really bottom line, I just had to be frank. But thank God, it's a distant memory.
Yeah, so how do you feel about all that now?
That was, the whole time was just a terrifying time. I wasn't sleeping, it was really, it was a terrible combination of having, the sea monster and my close friend, being in that position. So it was a really, it was a terrifying time.
And today, how do you feel today?
Well, just like she took on everything else, she took on this, and she was determined, and, between her davening and lots of her friends davening and her attitude, which is primary, she just fought it and she won.
How important do you feel that was in her recovery?
Oh, it was, like I say, it was a combination, obviously, Yad Hashem, but also she, a person's attitude, it creates their health. And, she could have gone, she could have easily just been depressed and not, and not been strong. She easily could have just said, oh, given up. She could have, and she would have been right to, but she absolutely wasn't going to do any of that.
Any parting words?
I love you.
Were you able to maintain a sense of hope through the darker times?
Yes. I couldn't, first of all, believe that she had cancer. And therefore I put her, it doesn't exist. She doesn't have it. Whatever she has, it'll go away.
And the people in our community brought us meals, so you wouldn't have to be distracted by cooking meals.
That's correct.
I remember one time they had so many challahs in the freezer, Faye, you didn't even know what to do with them all. Well, it was like the experience to have food and drink and so forth, just show up at your door like magic.
It was a good time to try to sell the colors.
It was a very, very nice thing to see.
Yes,
Community.
beautiful
again.
community. This is, Aish is, I don't know if you'll ever find a community as beautiful as Aish Torah. The people, it's a family that is just no bounds.
When she got sick and Renana couldn't find what was wrong with her, and she put her in the hospital on a hunch. So to my last breath, I'll be grateful to Renana for two hunches she had, and it's only through God's will that she survived. Yeah. And I prayed all along, and I still pray for her every day, that she never has another illness. And with God's help, she never will. And Abraham, I pray for you the same.
So you may or may not recall that Erev Rosh Hashanah, like 2 hours before Rosh Hashanah was coming in, the day as Jews we believe God makes the decision who's going to live and who's going to die, she was given a different diagnosis. They changed their attitude on the kind of cancer it was, and rather than being very concerned about the success of the chemotherapy, they felt very confident that the chemotherapy was going to work.
Yes.
How'd you miracle?
I know, of course. It was another miracle. It was a tremendous, all of it was, the entire process really was miraculous to me.
But you were the one that found the research facility that made that determination.
So,
How did that happen?
this was so amazing. I used to go to this women's gym in the valley when I lived in the valley. But when I moved on this side, to this side, I was doing stuff here, and for some reason, I went back a little bit to that gym. And that one day, I remember that I got on the treadmill, and I went and I grabbed a magazine, and I was looking through this health magazine. And then there was this little, it wasn't even a big article, it was a little, like this, little square little thing in the corner that grabbed my eye. And it said something about cancer in I don't remember the specific spot, but and it talked about a specific type of targeting chemotherapies, and there was something about it that was so unusual, and I thought, I gotta show this to Esther Hannah. She should see this. It was just like that. Hashem put this in front of me.
Esther Hannah received this
After.
terrible diagnosis.
That was not
of a
cool.
kid.
That was not cool.
So-
that was not a cool diagnosis.
So,
Was my
so here's my question. She comes back with this horrible diagnosis,
Yes.
and you turned it into a media event. Pretty soon there's women walking around with handbags with tanks shooting off rockets on them.
Well, she was a rocket scientist. It seemed appropriate. It was the only thing we could do. I thought it was important to rally the forces, and there were plenty of forces that wanted to be rallied. And so they rallied with the picture and the handbags and the sweatshirts, or without. They would have done it without too. But
That was a way of you contributing, of getting people connected.
well, it felt like we knew that we were a team, and Esther Hannah, of course, gave us this amazing visual imagery of this like lethal machine that was going to go in there and like do her job, and she could visualize on. And so we just let that lethal machine become our cute logo and motto, and represent us as a group, and really give us an opportunity to express visually what we wanted to say.
Do you think you accomplished that? Did that happen?
Well, I think it was a very strong
choice that Estefana made based on her many years in the military. No one could argue that the machine had the capabilities to do the job, and it definitely did give us a voice.
Well, Esther Hannah, when she called us together this one night, and she said that we were going to be a group, that she was asking for our strengths to be a support system, and she called us her striker group. And with that, she had a visual of a tank. So I think that most of us felt that we were actually part of her army in order to be able to help her, with God's help, win the battle. And when you're in an army, it's important to look within and say, where are my immediate strengths and talents that I can bring to this right away so that I can be of help as soon as possible? Because at the time that we were all called in, it was already at a critical stage. So it wasn't as if we had a lot of time to sit and powwow and wait and
Yes, ma'am.
gather our thoughts. It was, what are we going to do, and what are we going to do now? With all the giving, there was so much more that I received from Esther Hannah, so much that I learned from her, so much that I learned from her parents, being in the house with them once a week, watching them. So much I learned from you, Avraham, in terms of your character and your devotion. And so much strength that I gathered from the striker team, from the women who were involved, the women in the community who were pouring their love into the endeavor. And Baruch Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu crowned it with success till 120 years.
So I'm gonna hold this thing, twist. I like you, yeah, and don't twist with the body. So just like, and closer to you.
Okay. So you come here to the United States and you get a phone call from this gal that says, look, I'm not 20 anymore. I haven't worked out in decades. I've had half my stomach muscle removed from a cancer surgery, and I want you to train me to ice climb. So how did you feel about that?
Well, to be honest with you, it was I was a bit nervous because I've never worked with somebody that who survived cancer. And I never worked with somebody who had cancer before or had any form of cancer. So that was the first for me, you know. And I didn't know much to expect, and I said, okay, I will see how it is, you know, because I don't know what to think of it. I'll see how it is. And then when I finally met her, in the beginning, I must say, I said, I think this lady, she's out of her mind. You know? This is not something. But knowing her and working out with her, then I finally get to know her so much better than when you meet somebody for the very few minutes, you don't make an opinion about it, you know. And then the more I trained with her, I started to believe that she actually can do this thing, because I see her progress. You know, she was getting better and better and better, and every week, every training, and the way she pushes is absolutely amazing.
So you had your doubts in the beginning.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would be lying if I would say, oh, I was sure she can do it. No, I don't think she can do it. I think it's like, this is way too much. Ice climbing, are you crazy? Like, really? But now it's not that crazy anymore.
You think she's ready?
But I definitely believe in her, and I said to her that when the time comes, that moment, when it's gonna be early morning, and everything goes together, and you're gonna feel excited, you're just gonna eat the ice.
So she's ready?
I think she's ready. Honestly, I think she's ready. When you set your mind to something, definitely you're gonna conquer that thing. Either it's an ice climb or anything else, you know. It's just you need to want to do that thing and to get ready for that thing, you know. And sky's the limit from that moment. Just go for it.
Oh, there in my shadow, to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine, that's your way. You always walked a step behind. So I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. A beautiful face without a name for so long. A beautiful smile to hide the pain. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I would like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. It might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I've got it all here in my heart. I want you to know I know the truth.